Hey guys, John here from Geek Your Days, and I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be talking about the top 10 games that defined the Dreamcast for me. Now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of interesting responses to this, seeing as how some of the key games that people might assume are requirements to win Dreamcast are not on it. But once again, these are the games that made me want a Dreamcast, and more importantly, made the Dreamcast as memorable as it is to me. So, without further ado, on to the top 10 games that defined the Dreamcast.
Come on over, have some fun with Crazy Taxi!
Number 10, Crazy Taxi. Now, Crazy Taxi has an amazing soundtrack and is just all kinds of arcade fun. It's not necessarily a racing game, although it will certainly have you racing to different locations to pick up clients and drop them off wherever they need to go. And actually, one of the funniest things I found about this game is the product placement in it. You have people telling you they want to go to Pizza Hut and KFC and stuff like that, and it's just hilarious. Pretty much, there's 4 different drivers you can choose from. Each are pretty much about the same, I think. They really don't have any special abilities, just different cars. There was also a sequel, Crazy Taxi 2, but I do not own that, sadly. And besides, Crazy Taxi is the one that I actually have memories of playing way back when. I've actually seen the arcade cab of this a few. I guess it's a cab, right? If you sit down and play it in the arcade booth thing. Anywho, yeah, I've seen the Crazy Taxi cab before, and I've played it a few times, and you know, the Dreamcast and Sega just got this right, just got it right on the money. You know, I haven't met anybody today who did not love Crazy Taxi. Number 9, the King of Fighters Evolution, also known as King of Fighters 99. Well, the main reason why this game is on the list is because this was the first King of Fighters game that I sat down and played, and it got me hooked into the King of Fighters series, and it was on the Dreamcast. It's an amazing game, a huge list of characters. It plays very differently from Capcom Fighters, which was a big thing for me. But also, more importantly, I love the way the backgrounds in this are sort of 3D rendered against the 2D sprites. That just made the game come alive so well. The gameplay is pretty simple, you know, it's a 2D fighter, but with each character has its own unique set of moves and just personality and style overall. If there's anything I can say about the King of Fighters games, specifically this one, it's that every character has their own unique style. No two characters really feel the same. Even though they might have a similar moveset, their overall personalities just feel completely different, which is what makes this game so awesome to me.
Grind Radio!
Number 8, Jet Grind Radio, although I much rather prefer the title of Jet Set Radio, which is the name of it released in Japan. Anywho, Jet Grind Radio is a very colorful game, and I can say, in all honesty, it's the art that kept me playing this one. Pretty much you play a group of skaters who go around tagging your mark all over, I think Tokyoto, that's the name of the city, that's right. It's been a while since I played it. And it just has such a unique world, such an interesting experience. There's no real combat in the game. I mean, you don't necessarily get in a fight with other, I guess, gangs or so forth. But what you do is you do kind of attack them and tag over their artwork and stuff like that. It's a really unique experience, and hopefully, you know, the video will do more justice than my crazy ramblings. But definitely, it definitely reserves the spot of number 8. Number 7, Sonic Adventure. Now, anyone who knows me would know that a Sonic game was bound to be on this list. And Sonic Adventure was so groundbreaking, so life-changing for me when it came out. You know, it's seen Sonic in a whole different way. Now, a lot of people will debate that wasn't necessarily a good way, taking Sonic out of the 2D side-scrolling. But, nonetheless, it was certainly groundbreaking at the time. This game really would have been a lot higher on the list for me, except, I felt that Sonic Adventure, in my personal opinion, while it is great and I do love it, I felt that I spent more time in the game wandering around, trying to figure out what to do the first time I played it, than actually going through the stages. I would have put Sonic Adventure 2 in place of this, but Sonic Adventure 2, while it is good, does not have the same flow that the original Sonic Adventure has. So it definitely deserves a spot at number 7.
Hydro Thunder!
Number 6, Hydro Thunder. Now this, just like Crazy Taxi, is another throwback to arcade goodness. It's fast-paced racing action at its best. You have all the unique boats, all the unique tracks, and just the soundtrack itself is very memorable. Anybody who's played this game always remembers it, and always stands out. I mean, I just can't think of enough good things to say about Hydro Thunder. Even to this day, I can go back, pop it in, and just enjoy the shit out of it, you know. There was also a certain art to the game, because it requires you not just to race efficiently, but to also conserve your energy boosts and to use them to their maximum capability. You know, to get that extra edge to finish in the top slots, that way you can unlock the other tracks and what have you. Which is another good thing. I mean, just like all great arcade ports, the ability to take an arcade game that you love and play it on a home console. Number 5, Grandia 2. Now, a lot of people say Grandia 2 is not as good as Grandia 1, but personally, Grandia 2 holds a special place in my heart. And there's a reason for that. One, it was one of the first games that I had played that had voice acting, and that just blew me away. It also has amazing anime cutscenes. The soundtrack is very memorable on top of that, and just the storyline itself, in my personal opinion, is a very great one, just because of some of the areas and topics it touches on. Aside from that, Grandia 2 really is a standard JRPG by today's standards, but back in the day it really set a different trend and a different tone. And it's just great all around. You know, it holds a special place in my heart because it was one of the first RPGs on the Dreamcast that I had beaten all the way, 100%. So that is why it's on the list at number 5. Number 4, Mars Matrix. Now, this is a game that I've had a long history with. This game was actually suggested to me to play to help me increase my hand-eye coordination when I was heavily into the KOF circuits. And I have to say, it's since grown on me and since got me addicted to shooters, especially bullet hell shooters. And Mars Matrix is just a great game all around. It has an awesome soundtrack. I mean, this soundtrack is very memorable to me. Maybe it's because of all the techno and electronic beats to it, but I mean, it's just amazing. I think the only other game that would come close soundtrack-wise would be Rez, in my personal opinion. That's only because Rez has a soundtrack that is made as you play the game. But I digress. Mars Matrix has a unique function where you can absorb all the shots into you and then disperse them back out at the enemies, which can really save your ass if you're getting overwhelmed. But it is one hard game, and it certainly deserves its rank at number 4. Number 3, Project Justice, also known by fans of the series as Rival Schools 2. Although I think that might be the sub-name. Basically, Rival Schools 2 is a 3D fighter that has its core elements in 2D fighting, and is a Capcom classic. It's really sad we haven't seen another installation in this series, because this one is just amazing. I love the way the cutscenes are kind of told out in these comic type situations, and the characters themselves are just so unique and original, and it's so fast-paced. I like how every character is associated with a particular school activity of sorts, or they're given a certain school stereotype. Like, you know, you have your athletes high school, and you have your troublemaking high school, and so forth. And it's just an awesome series, and it's real sad that we haven't seen another installation of it. Definitely deserves its rank at number 3. Number 2, Phantasy Star Online. Now, let me backtrack a bit. You see, I'm very familiar with online games. In fact, some of my early online games were Ultima Online. But this was the first time I was able to play an online game on a console, and it just blew my mind. I remember going out, buying the keyboard and mouse accessory, as well as many different VMUs just to keep my characters on, and just the overall world itself, and on top of that, it was another installment into the Phantasy Star universe, just made it so amazing to me. The fact that the characters could be customized, and that no two characters were gonna really be the same. It's sad, though, that towards the end of Phantasy Star Online's universe, it got flooded with hackers and all manner of scammers and what have you, but there are still a few private servers out there for Phantasy Star Online if anybody's interested in playing. You know, but just all around, you know, the reason why this is number 2 on my list is because I remember how awesome it was back then when it was first fresh and original, and just, you know, I can't say enough good things about it. And this is it, number 1, the game that made me want a Dreamcast. Without a doubt, Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000. Now, it's no big mystery to anybody, I am a huge fighting game player, and just when I saw Capcom and SNK come together, two of the biggest mecha giants at the time for 2D fighters, it blew my teenage mind. And I actually will honestly admit that I had not been exposed to the King of Fighters series prior to this game. So the King of Fighters characters that are present in this game, such as Iori, Yagami, and Gyo Kusanagi, actually, they were so unique and so interesting in this setting that it drew me into the King of Fighters series as a result of this game. But this game itself is just so awesome, so epic. The soundtrack, the way it gets you pumped before each fight, especially if it's on your last fighter that you have. It has a very interesting ratio system, although a lot of people don't like the ratio system. I'm hit or miss on it. Sometimes I feel like ratio, sometimes I don't. It introduces the different grooves, and along with the different grooves, the different art styles, and it was so awesome to see the Capcom characters done with the SNK art style. And you know, I'm just rambling on, but this is just such an amazing game for me. It made me want a Dreamcast. Enough said. So that's it, guys. My top 10 games that defined the Dreamcast for me. I'd certainly like to hear what your top 10 games for the Dreamcast are, if you've even played the Dreamcast at all, and if not, I mean, there's really nothing holding you back. I mean, they're almost dirt cheap now. You can get one complete with a bunch of games, and I'm pretty sure people are going to be surprised at this list, because there are a few what people would consider key games aren't on this game, such as Power Stone and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and so forth. But I really had to think not just what were good games, but what made me want this wonderful console. And these 10 games really did it for me. So that's all I can say, guys. Thanks for watching, and Geeker Days.